Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, I'll be giving you guys a complete 12 win guide. So there's 4 modes, 3 wins on each one on the Brawl-O-Ween challenge that you actually unlock Rosa if you win. So this will be available for everyone to play on the 31st. It should show up in game in a few days, I believe. So I'm just going to be giving you my best comps for both people that have near enough all brawlers unlocked, and then some free to play comps. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright guys, so here is a tier list for double swoosh. So bearing in mind that obviously not all players have all brawlers, but with this challenge, if you've got any of the brawlers unlocked, they're actually max levels. So you're going to have both star powers and both gadgets for some brawlers. So obviously take this into consideration. You see the 4 S tier brawlers. Jean's going to be the mid in this case, and then I believe one of the 3 lanes of Tara, Spike and Amber. Obviously, Spike and Amber are legendary and Tara is mythic, so I'll be giving you guys some alternatives as well. Alright guys, so going into the first set of the challenge, as always, with these challenges, I believe it's 3 or I think it's actually 4 losses now, and then you're out. So you've got a really good chance of obviously winning this skin. So with double swoosh, the first set's always going to be really easy for most people. You're going to be facing a lot of randoms, a lot of people that have just picked up the game, just entering into the game. So you're going to be playing against somewhat weird and wacky comps. A lot of people, as I said, will be going with randoms, not with generically made comps. So the first advice I always give, do not go into this with randoms if possible. Try and find an active club or a few friends to play with it, just because just literally the brawlers and the comps will help you a ton with this. So if you guys looked at the tier list already, the 3 mids I advise to play for sure are going to be either Jean, Poco or Bose. So the comp we're running on screen at the moment is by far probably the best, well, definitely the best comp for this map. You send Tara down the left lane, it's just better down the left lane. You've got her gadget, which is able to scan a bunch of bushes, and then you've got Amber, the best brawler in the game by far at the moment. She's going to be used everywhere, but she can be substituted out in these early stages. I'll be showing you guys a comp pretty soon, but Amber down the right, she's just an absolute terror at the minute. She can fit into literally every single map, every mode, probably except for bounties, only mode that isn't really good right now in the meta. And as I said, if you haven't got Amber or Spike or Tara, no, these are mythic brawlers. Down the lanes, you can actually switch these with the likes of Pam, Carl, Rose on her own is pretty good. Max, as always, really good, but again, she is a mythic. You've got the likes of Sandy, again a legendary brawler, but you might actually have Sandy instead of Spike. But in these early stages, I always recommend to use brawlers that you're comfortable with. And again, you're not really going to have much trouble actually winning in these modes, as long as you're using one of the good brawlers that I've recommended. Do not use any like type of throwers on this map. It's a really grass heavy map, so you want to be using brawlers that are good for scouting. For example, even like Colette's pretty good in the meta right now, but this map just really isn't made for her, just because of the amount of bushes down the lane. You want a brawler that can easily scout the bushes at the beginning, and then if you've got a brawler like Amber, you can just set alight those bushes so people can't actually sneak into the grass. Alright, so going into the free to play comp, as always, this comp's going to be really good in the lower level gameplay. Poco double tank. So Poco double tank really isn't good in ladder or high in competitive really anymore, because there's a ton of brawlers now that tend to counter tanks, and especially Amber now released into the game. But just because this is the first set, you can definitely get away with playing this comp. It can overrun a lot of people if you just stay clumped together. I mean, Poco probably is the most crucial to this composition. You want to just keep trying to get as much value, keep trying to hit both your teammates with that heal, and then just cycle your supers over and over again. But yeah, just Poco combined with any really tank, I recommend Rose and Jackie. Most people should have those brawlers unlocked. It's going to be a really good combination. Alright guys, so next up is actually Hot Zone Ring of Fire, a new map into the map pool for Brawl Stars. And I've only played this map in a few scrims and just obviously making this video, so not really got the most in-depth about it, but I do know the brawlers that are pretty good for it already. So as you can see by the S tier and A tier brawlers, they're going to be the brawlers that you'll be wanting to pick. The S tier is by far probably the best combination that you'll get in the game. If you've got all of them brawlers unlocked, you're going to be having a really good time on this map. Right, so going into the second set, which is obviously Hot Zone Ring of Fire. The comp that we're seeing on screen definitely is going to be a comp that not a lot of people probably have, just because Max actually a mythic, and then Amber's a new legendary, so not a lot of people have got these type of brawlers. But yeah, this comp is absolutely wild. You just got insane DPS with all 3 of these brawlers. You got Pam, she's got her healing aspect. She's got a turret that you can just place behind the cactus, and then you've got Amber that can basically win like all lanes at once because she's an absolute shredding machine at the moment. Just shreds through so many different people. And then you've even got her super, which you're able to throw over the mid and just set a light. It just actually allows for so much control. And then Max, one of the best brawlers in the game as well, probably the second best brawler in the game. She's going to be good pretty much everywhere. I tend to use the new gadget for Max on this mode specifically, just because, as you can see in this grass, you could probably just pop your gadget and then just run in. As long as you're actually watching your health, you're going to be getting pretty good value. That's the correct way to use it for sure on a game mode like this. And then Pam, as I said, just really good across the board. And then there's a few other picks that I like. I'm obviously going to go into free to play in a few minutes, but a few more picks that I do tend to like. Even 8-bit can be pretty decent on here. If you sit in the grass, you can get some really good value, just because most people obviously tend to go towards the center circle. 8-bit's got really good range. He's got a lot of HP now. Once you're able to get his turret, he's going to be pretty speedy. He's going to have insane damage output. When you combine this with other brawlers like Max, Amber, Pam, if they get some value out of the 8-bit turret as well, he's going to be pretty much shredding. And then other brawlers that are always going to be good. Spike, Curveball can be pretty good down the lane or down the middle. You have brawlers like Ems. Ems is really going to be good on here. Colette, if you've got unlocks, Colette's always going to be good in the hot zone. One of the best brawlers in the hot zone. Not too sure on the other hot zone maps, but Colette, it's going to be really good here because you can use her super to just knock people out of that zone and kill them pretty quickly. Okay, so now moving on to the free-to-play comp, it's going to be Pam, Ems, and Cole. So these are brawlers that pretty much all people should have unlocked. With Pam, you want to be using the heal star power with her, just because you're not going to really have too many opportunities to get too much damage with her turret. And then Ems, a lot of times I'll probably end up using the bad karma star power for this map specifically, just because you're not going to be like hiding behind a wall and popping a super and getting multiple people in it. You want to be getting max damage at max distance with Ems for sure. And then Cole, it's kind of up to you what you like to use. But Cole, the way you want to be playing this is just by constantly going in the enemy grass. Normally, I use Protective Pirouette, just because once you get your super, you can keep cycling it over and over again. And of course, if you're being in the grass, you want to be really aggressive. So the Protective Pirouette helps you to stay alive and get those kills. And then a lot of the time, Ems and Pam will just be patrolling the middle. Obviously, it's all about control of the middle. So just want to keep checking the bush. Make sure no people are going in behind you. But it's definitely a new mode in the competitive, meta. I've not played Hot Zone too much competitively. I've actually played probably like 5 or 6 times, like competitively playing it in a tournament, and not really playing it too much in ladder. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what people make of it. And it's the first time it's actually appeared in a challenge like this. Normally it was just a normal 5 modes. So I'm excited to see what everyone thinks of this. Let me know what you think of the map in the comment section below. All right, guys. So moving into the third set, which is going to be GG Mortuary heist. So this is probably the worst heist map in the game by far right now, and especially in the competitive map pool, GG Mortuary is actually a pretty new map. But there's only really 3 brawlers that I recommend to play on this map, and all in the same comp. Obviously, it could be Daryl, Spike, and Brock, and I'll teach you guys how to play it. But there's a few alternatives that I've found. I've like said, Primo with his Meteor Rush gadget, you're able to break up the map. Then if you combine this with like a Gale, an Amber, or Max. Okay, so going into the third set, GG Mortuary. So this is the best comp. I'll show you guys how to play it. So a lot of people used to use Curveball on Spike on this map, but in the competitive meta, people have started using Fertilize just to defend the Daryl. So this is the comp that every single pro tends to use. You send Spike down a right-hand lane to deal with an incoming Brock or the Daryl. As you can see, I'm playing Daryl in the gameplay. You just want to be sitting back, not feeding Spike that super, and just waiting for that super to automatically charge. It takes 30 seconds for Daryl's super to charge, so definitely bear that in mind. Once the clock reaches around 2 seconds, you're going to be able to make your play. So the way Daryl plays it, you just got to wait for the perfect opportunity. Normally, I use my Steel Hoops star power to tank a Spike shot, and then it's all about being aggressive. If you're facing like a Spike or something, just constantly getting damage in over and over again. And then the Brock on your team, their job is to follow you in on your pushes. So whenever Daryl rolls in, Brock always wants to be close behind, either with his jump or whether he's broken up the walls. You always want Brock in support, because Brock's going to be the main damage dealer, because most people tend to focus on Daryl on defense, but in reality, Brock's going to be the one dealing the most damage. He deals at least 8% with the Incendiary star power and just shreds the safe overall. Obviously, if Daryl's left alone on the safe as well, he's going to be really good. But this is how you play the comp overall, and it's just a really solid comp. So now going into the free-to-play comp, we've just switched out the Spike for Rico. So the same kind of thing with what you used to do with Spike, you do with Rico. Just watch that right hand side. So obviously Brock and Rico's job is to constantly just make sure people don't cross the lake. It can be pretty easy to monitor. So Daryl again just sits in the back, charges his super up. Maybe if he realizes that people like a Gale jump pad, for example, or a Brock jump, he can just sit in the grass and wait for that to actually go up. But all the aggression, Daryl needs to spend no time defending whatsoever. He's always on the attack. The other two brawlers are going to be the ones defending. Normally a good Rico can actually defend a lot if he's playing it right, especially against Daryl or any other tank, but it's kind of a combinations you want to go up against. I'm not too sure what a lot of people go on ladder in low trophies, so it might be a bit of a variance inside of comps, but the two comps I've given you should be able to deal with literally every comp in the game. Alright guys, so moving into the final map, which is Shooting Star. So the best comp for this map is going to be Nanny Mortis Bow. I'll tell you guys how to use that, but as you can see by the other brawlers, I believe there's only really 8 brawlers you can use in this map, which are obviously going to be Nanny, Mortis Bow, Piper, Tick, Max, Sprout, and Brock. I believe they're the really only competitive top tier brawlers you can use on this map. Let's jump into the tips. Alright guys, so the way to use this comp if you've got these brawlers unlocked straight away with Bo, with his gadget that actually enables you to build up your super, you're going to just place it as soon as you spawn in the gameplay, provided it actually wasn't played that way, but you want to use it straight away in spawn. And the way, if you face this comp, if you play against it, you want Mortis to sit in that middle bush, and he's going to be the one tanking the Nanny supers, and then you just want to be building up your supers much quicker than the opponent. So if you're facing a mirror, you just got to be really careful. A lot of times you can just cycle it around and try and kill either the bow or Mortis. The Mortis is actually the bow is actually the lower in HP. But if you're facing other comps, again, you've got Bow, which has a decent DPS. You've got Mortis, who's actually really good against a ton of different brawlers. With Mortis, you can obviously play a lot passively. A lot of times on this map, you can face the likes of Tick, the likes of Piper, and Mortis is a perfect counter to them brawlers, and Sprout as well. Mortis is just so good against them brawlers. So yeah, just always want to be trying to protect the little totem in the back, and that's the role of Mortis and Bow. As long as you keep at least 3 of your bow gadgets alive, you're going to be doing really well with Nanny. And it just depends what kind of brawlers you face. So for example, the brawlers that are above like 4.4k HP, you want to be cycling your super around, making sure it deals more damage. The longer obviously the Nanny super goes off, the more damage you're going to be dealing. So a lot of times I will go that. When I see players out of position, I'll just go straight for, like the example for the Nanny. If someone's below about 3.5k HP, you don't need to cycle it around. You can just go straight to them. So this is how to play this comp. Let's jump into the other comp. Okay, so for the people that don't have the likes of Mortis or any other brawlers, or just aren't really confident with that composition, I recommend going this one. So it's going to be Piper, Tick, Nanny. This is the comp that a lot of people tend to go a lot of the times as well. So Piper is going to be using the homemade recipe gadget, just because a lot of times once you get one tap on a brawler, you can just finish them straight away with the gadget, and just going to be able to cycle over and over again. In the gameplay, I'm playing against Rage, so it's really hard to kind of show this, but it's really easy to implement. You've got a little bit of grass with ambush. You're going to be able to two-shot a lot of different brawlers. And then the primary goal with Piper, you want to be breaking up the little wall where normally Tick or Sprout likes to hide. And then down the right, you want to be using the likes of Max or Brock or along those lines. I feel like Tick and Piper are really irreplaceable in this kind of comp, just because of how good they are. Piper, as I said, two-shots a lot of brawlers. Tick's just really good at zoning on this map. He can basically win like all of the lanes if not dealt with properly. And then you've got Nanny, but Nanny's always going to be a good brawler. Nanny's pretty good against Piper, and a lot of the times his head can one-shot a lot of different brawlers. Tanks really aren't good on this map. So, I mean, the only real tank I believe that people run on this map, the tankiest out of them all, is going to be Mortis. So that's going to be your only real problem with this kind of combination. But again, it's just down to what you really prefer. I mean, I normally recommend going this kind of comp just because a lot of people are more familiar with it, but definitely try what you want. All right, guys, this is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you really enjoyed. Let me know what you think of my combinations in the comment section below. Obviously, I've played a lot in this meta. There's only one map that I'm not 100% on, which is Hot Zone, but it shouldn't be too bad. It's the second set. and the comps are recommended definitely is enough for you guys to win. So 4 days time, let me know how you guys get on. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.